Alright, we're working with multiplication here. So multiplication, you can read it a couple of ways. 2 times 3, what that is saying is 2 added to itself 3 times. So it would look like this. 2 plus 2 plus 2. And you're saying, well, where did that 3 go? I only see a bunch of 2's here. Well, there's 1, 2, 3 number 2's there, and that's where the number 3 went. So we get 6 when we do 2 times 3. You could also think of it like this. You could think of it 3 added to itself 2 times, so it looks something like that. Just 3 plus 3. And again, there's 2 3's here. These numbers each have a name. This number 2 right here, if you recall, maybe from 5th grade, this would be called a factor. The 3 is actually the same word, a factor, and the answer to a multiplication problem is called a product. There's a couple different properties to keep in mind when we do these problems. So anytime you have something like 2 times 3 or 3 times 2, the answer here is going to be 6, as we figured out on the first slide there. The answer is going to be 6, and when you have the order switched and you still end up with the same answer, that's called the commutative property of multiplication. The order doesn't matter. I could put the 2 first, or I could put the 3 first. I'm going to get the same answer. That's what it means. And then the identity property, that's just anytime you multiply a number by 1, so in this case 1 times 7, you're going to get whatever that other number will be. So in this case it would be 7. If we did 1 times 36, that would give us 36. Alright, if we multiply by 0, you recall from this first slide, we probably know, by the way, the answer to this 3 times 0 is going to equal 0. But a lot of times people can't explain that. Remember over here we said 2 was added to itself 3 times, and we said that would be 2 plus 2 plus 2. Well, in this case we have 0 added to itself 3 times. What's 0 plus 0 plus 0? Well, it's 0. And another way of thinking about this is if you have 0 groups of 3, well, right there, that's one group of 3. So guess what? You can't even have that. So what are you left with? You're left with 0. All right, one more thing to go over here. And that's multiplying by 10, 100, or 1,000. So I'm just going to do a real basic example. And hopefully we're going to do a lot of this year. So if you don't catch on this lesson, that's okay. 10 times, oh, that looks like 16. Let's start over again. 10 times 4. Well, that's going to give us 40. 100 times 4. That's going to give up 400. And if you notice, I had 2 zeros here, and I have 2 zeros in my product. And then I had 1 0 here in this factor, and I'm going to have 1 0 in my product. If I did 1,000 times 4, how many zeros do you think I'm going to get in my product? Well, it would be 4,000. So I'd end up with 3 zeros there. So you can kind of catch on with what the pattern would look like for all sorts of different numbers.